Hello and welcome to today's content of preparing for the Red Giant raid, which is translated roughly to that. I believe it might have a different name, such as like Wolfram, but we'll have to see. But yeah, this raid will be starting this Wednesday, and I'll be going over the resistances and the recommended units to bring so that you have an easier time clearing. The raid item that you can specifically get for this raid is going to be the chocolate flan earrings, where at max plus 5 and 50 out of 50 level, you get 25% stun resistance and 25% max HP for 3 turns on the HP portion. The stun you'll always have for resistance, but the HP max is going to be for 3 turns. Without further ado, let's begin. So first off, resistances for the raid. What it's going to have is a negative 25% to dark. To magic, sorry. Negative 10% to dark. It's going to have a 10% to pierce, 15 to strike, 20% to missile, and 25% to slash. As you can see here, magic in general will be very easy, and you just deal as much damage to the boss as much as possible. The other elements are all going to be at 0%, meaning other elements are definitely going to be viable against this boss as long as you're targeting mostly the biggest weakness, which is going to be magic. It starts off at level 100 of a base of 20 defense and 0 spirit, so that means, as you can see, physical DPS dealers will have to deal with a little bit of mitigation. Its faith is at 50, ironically, so it will take good magic damage, but it won't take as much as possible as it could have. If it had higher faith, that'd be nice. What you want to bring is going to be dark units first. Second is going to be magic of any type, and then third is going to be dark magic, which is going to be the most effective. And then I put specifically dark piercing here because if you have a pierce resistance imperil from like Cain, you can deal good damage to it because of the imperil, and they are dark, so it'll do good damage. What you want to bring is that you want to bring imperils, demon killer, and defense debuff or penetration. Other than that, a spirit debuff would be very nice too. Why it's a demon killer is that this raid boss is not actually an Esper, it's actually considered a demon. So keep that in mind when you're trying to bring like what damage modifiers. The damage you will take is going to be light slash. Keep that in mind, you want slash resistance and some light resistance if you can, if possible. It is immune to agility breaks and steal time, so try not to do those. You're going to just be wasting your time on them. And as someone requested earlier, much earlier in like the glacial raid, that presentation I did, Espers that have either dark killer and or demon killer is going to be Ifrit, Demonwa, Diablos, Omega, and Typhoon. I'm not sure how to say it, but yeah, those Espers specifically will have dark killer / demon killer, so bring those espers if you can, if possible, for maximum damage. So for units to bring for the raid, the recommended solo carry DPS units obviously is going to be black robed Helena. She is literally going to destroy this boss because she can exploit all its weaknesses extremely well. Garvel is very good here too. He's obviously like a little substitute. He'll be like a little brother to Helena in terms of damage, but he's still capable of dealing very good damage, especially with Jammer Thrust, which is very cheap and very high efficiency. He can deal good damage. For good / decent DPS units, Sakura and Yuna as a joined together can light chain the boss to death. Because they are very strong magic dealers in general and they are able to chain off each other even further, even Eternal Pain sets up literally three hits straight up, so you can just hit damage cap like repeatedly over and over with like someone else after her. It's pretty good. Luelle specifically is here because she does deal good damage. If you're able to bring other Luelles, you could definitely chain together, and because she is tanky / bulky against physical damage in general, she'll be pretty good here in terms of survivability. I put Mediana here specifically because Mediana level 120 actually does very strong magic damage. You have to consider, because Mediana is very squishy, that she might have trouble surviving at later levels in the raid, but she is still viable for damage in general because Flare, or if she does her Ice Imperil, does very good damage. For the attack Imperil setup units, obviously we have Stern, who is very good, especially with his EX. He's able to lower the slash resistance immensely against the boss. He could deal significant damage. Cain is here specifically because not only is he dark and pierce, he also has his piercing lance. It could definitely lower the piercing resistance, so it's a negative. And Kilfi is here mostly for magic units. Like if you literally have none of the other units, Kilfi is still good here if you have her limit break level, because she can lower magic resistance even lower. You can allow your teammates to deal cap damage very easily. For items to bring, obviously bells. We also have the Fides Lacerna because if you want slash resistance, it has a good amount of slash resistance. We have Thancred's TMR that maybe not many people have, but if you have it, it's very good because it gives you a good amount of HP, gives you 10 defense, and most importantly, gives you light resistance, which is more unique in how to obtain it, so it's very nice to have. Platinum Helmet is also very good because it has 10% slash resistance, so it helps if you are able to use the helmet. Moving on to the offensive card, vision card setups, we have Diablos, which is going to be very nice to have for the 35 dark attack up. We have Celebrating Crossed Paths, which actually does stack with Diablos, so if you want a little bit more elemental damage for all elements, it's very nice to have. Trousseau is going to be another very big damaging for magic attack types specifically for 35, so it's very nice to have. Defensively, we have Getting Stronger Than Everyone Else, or Anyone Else, is going to be good defensively for single target mono dark units only. So it's nice to have if you have mono darks. However, I do believe Solidus itself will still be better if you want slash resistance because it gives it to the entire team and it gives magic attack stat up on the card itself, like the personal stat itself. Utility will always be utility. We just have those mostly as presentation for the agility or AP up, or the two-headed dragon for damage cap. Here specifically, we could also use the, I believe, the Mind Flayer vision card, which is very nice to have. Most people will not be using the Clairvoyant vision card here, unfortunately, because there's obviously if you bring a magic team setup, they don't really need AP in terms of like they're not going to be generating AP. They're going to be spending a lot of it as much as possible. Here we are moving on to the resistances for the rare raid, which is going to be the chocolate pudding again, or chocolate flan. It's going to have a negative 10% to missile, it's going to have a negative 10 to lightning element, it's a 10% to slash, 15 to magic, 20 to pierce, and 25 to strike. Obviously, as you can tell, you should not bring a strike unit here unless you can lower it somehow. For fire resistance itself, it's going to be 20%, so don't bring fire units here. Every other element is going to be 0%, so that means anything outside of fire can be usable, especially if you're able to target the missile resistance specifically. Because the boss has 0 base defense and 0 base spirit, that means any unit in general is going to be good here. They don't really need penetration, they just need raw damage pretty much. Faith is 70, so magic attack damage magic type missile damage will actually be not bad here. It will definitely deal some damage. What you want to really bring is going to be lightning units in general and lightning missile. Additionally, you also want to bring, if possible, charm resistance, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Spirit and defense debuffs and penetration will be very good here. Specifically, penetration is not going to be good here, so you want to bring debuffs as possible. Penetration is just there as a representation. Imperils are going to be very good, and you want specifically aquatic killer. And why it's aquatic killer and not like water killer or something is because aquatic killer is the race type of the flan, so you deal more damage. Obviously you could bring water killer as well, but I'm talking specifically about the race type is going to be aquatic. So damage and status you'll be taking is going to be water damage in general, like non-attributed, it's just going to be water element damage, and charm, so keep that in mind. The flan is also immune to agility bricks and steal time, so don't try bringing those along if you're purposely bringing them along to try and use them. Espers with specifically either aquatic and or water killer is going to be Aigaon, Ramu, and Tetra. These three Espers are going to be very effective in dealing more damage significantly to the boss in terms of the extra bonus panels. So units to bring for the rare raid. The recommended solo DPS units, if you have a 9S at 120, his linear spear shot will dumpster the boss. He is very, very good here. Frederica recently got her EX, it's been about approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Her EX raw damage will now be very, very good here, and especially for raids. Nivlu still has her limit break, which is going to be Spider Rain, which lowers the defense of the boss. She could definitely help and provide for her team to deal way more damage in general. For good / decent DPS units, ironically, Alim here made the list. She is an MR, but she is a little bit higher cost compared to other MRs. I put her here specifically because she does have access to the dual gunner sub job. She can definitely hit very hard. I put Sid here, but he's mostly going to be there for his Divine Ruination. Because he's also slash, he won't be dealing as much damage to the boss compared to his other teammates. However, he can still help set up because of Divine Ruination. Winter Victory here is specifically not bad because we have access to Thanks for the Votes Vision card, which is 35 water attack. And that can stack with Frederica's Dream, which is another 35 attack for missile damage. So she could definitely make use of both of those and take advantage of the missile attack weakness. Garvel's here specifically because not only does he have a charm resist, so he can't be charmed unlike all the other units, he also has magic missile type attacks, which is like his chi shot or his chi flurry shots. So he could definitely actually be usable in both parts of the raid. For attack and peril and setup units, obviously it's going to be the usual duo. It's going to be Gilgamesh and Winter Ramada. They have their slash and perils, which is very nice to have if you want to go slash. Kilfi is here specifically for magic as usual. She's pretty unique in that her limit break isn't really like challenged by anyone else for now. But yeah, it's definitely there if you want to imperil it. For items specifically that you want to bring, obviously bells. We have Titus's necklace here specifically if you want more DPS, just in case you might do a critical hit here and there. It'll definitely help if you do crit damage. And specifically we have the Yorha combat clothes here, which is 9S's TMR. I put this here specifically because if you cast it on your teammates, which is in a small AoE, you can nullify getting charmed for up to 3 turns, which is definitely useful if you're getting destroyed by charm. On to the vision cards. Offensive vision card, Frederica's Dream is going to be uncontested best one here. Just in general, especially for missile attackers, it's just going to be good. We have Dashing Through the Snow, dashing over the hills I mean, which is going to be very good in terms of just pierce damage if you're specifically using 9S. Obviously, the Clairvoyant Astrologer card, which is in utility, can definitely be used here as well because of the Armor Piercer, is very nice to have. And we have the New Year Vision card, which is still going to be good here and very relevant because it has a 20 aquatic killer for your team. It's very nice to have. For the defensive setup, we have Fleeting Tranquility, which is a vision card which not really gives you much damage. However, to the bestowed holder, it gives them enough charm resistance so they do not get charmed from the boss, which is very nice to have if you're getting destroyed by RNG. Second off is going to be Beloved Sidekick Chocobo. This vision card is going to be specifically only for wind units because at max level, the max bonus you get is going to be for mono wind. You get 30% charm resistance, which is enough to not be charmed by the boss. Obviously this is locked to only wind units, and 2B already has charm resistance. You will probably use it more for people like Oldoa if you wanted to really make a composition for that or stuff like that. It works for wind units specifically. Utility, as usual, it'll only be there just to increase the damage cap. Specifically, Clairvoyant Astrologer card is going to be very, very strong here because of just how good it will be. In terms of general, it's very good for physical attackers and it helps with the AP if you need it. And with that, we arrived at the end of the video. As always, if you like my raid preparation guide, please leave a like and subscribe or a comment. And until the next video, thanks for watching and peace out.